Hi, my name is Mark Kern. I'm the CEO and Chief Creative Officer of Red 5 Studios, makers of Firefall, the free-to-play online MMO shooter.
And with this MMO, what else are you exhibiting here at PAX?
Well, right now, normally we have like a huge PAX presence, but this time we're just doing a closed-door press conference to talk about the new stuff we're doing for our mega patch. We have a very unique development process where we make the game with our community. So based on their feedback, we just changed almost everything about the game, from progression to the way chosen invasions to work, and the way that our resource gathering works and our crafting works, all based on their feedback, and they're there right now trying it out on the servers.
Can you talk about some of the influences that inspired this game?
Yeah, you know, I came from World of Warcraft. I was a team lead on that project, and I really wanted to do something new. I wanted to do, I feel like that the fantasy trope got kind of played out. I'm a huge sci-fi fan. I love Starship Troopers. I love Dune. So you can see some of those influences in the game, especially with our resource collection, like the Thumper, which is like this big device that drops down from the sky. It starts attracting all these creatures that you have to fight off, Starship Trooper style, and get your resource out of there so you can craft your gear.
What were your goals heading into this game?
My goal was to really, recognize that servers were getting more powerful, desktop computers and bandwidth are getting more powerful, so we could actually do a true shooter in an MMO environment. We don't blend the two. We don't have dice rolling or RPGs mechanics in the background. It's all skill-based, and that's only possible with the advancements of the technologies that have kept pace with us so far.
How do you feel that this game pushes the games forward?
Well, we changed everything about MMOs. I was on the team that helped create the whole exclamation mark over the head, and I often say to my team, I never want to see that again. Because every game after that, every MMO has kind of copied that sort of static quest chain. So we decided to get rid of that. We have Sin, which is like our internet of the world, except it's all in your vision, right? It's augmented reality. And other players and other mission givers will push you missions through Sin, almost like Radiocom, and is fully dynamic. We never know what's going to happen because the world is changing all the time. So we have a system that sort of picks up on what it is that's happening and pushes those missions towards you. It's a very different design.
Can you talk about some of the characters and the story?
Yeah, so the story revolves around how humanity, which has just survived an event called the Firefall, which also gave it bountiful energy from these meteorites that fell to Earth, has gone through a renaissance, and the whole Earth has become born anew after this near extinction event. So they start to invent starships, and one of the starships they invent is the Arclight, which is a faster-than-light ship. But when they try to activate it, all hell breaks loose, and a rift opens up, and an energy storm called the Melding comes through, covering everything else. So the story's about how Admiral Nostromo is trying to fix the mistake that he made, with the melding, and about characters like Typhon and Morningstar who are fighting against the melding creatures that are coming out and invading the Earth.
Can you tell me what else is new when it comes to gameplay experience?
Well, it's going to play like nothing you've played before. I mean, Red 5 is really about innovating in the space and helping other people to innovate. So it's a breath of fresh air is the most common comment we hear when you come into the game, because it's really like a sandbox. It's really like go discover things. All the gear is crafted. We have an extensive crafting system. The combat is not you versus one enemy. You're always fighting like 15 creatures at a time, and they're shooting at you. And it's full physics, full action-oriented combat in an MMO setting, a vast open world, as well as instance PvP and an esports mode as well.
Earlier you mentioned that there's some fan feedback with this game. Can you elaborate more on that?
Yeah, so when we've shown it at PAX and everything else, people go, wow. Well, the first reaction was, I can't believe it's a free-to-play game. And this was, when we announced it 3 years ago at PAX Prime, there was no AAA free-to-play except for Riot's League of Legends. And they were like one of the first AAA quality games. And we were offering an entire MMO of that level of quality, and it kind of blew people away. Now, of course, people kind of are like, okay, I accept that. Things are changing, right? But the other reactions have been like, this is like no other game I've played before. And that's what I love to hear, because I don't want to do the same things over and over again.
What role has new technology played in your ability to bring this creative vision to life?
It wouldn't be possible without new technology, because The servers that we used to use at my old company when I worked at Blizzard on WoW were like dual-core machines sitting in server rooms, and now we've got these C-micro servers that have 256 cores in space about that big, but we also use Amazon Cloud. So when we're not using our C-micro servers for development, we're in Amazon's cloud. We can scale servers up and down as users demand. So when we have a high load, we just spin up more servers and spin them down, and they're all super powerful machines, much more powerful than we had before, which enables us to do that real action and physics-oriented combat.
What are you most excited about gamers getting their hands on with this game?
I think I just love to see the look on their faces when they realize that they can just download and play for free. It's in closed beta right now, so the only way to get in is by an invite or by buying a Founders Pack. But you know, I love being stealth in the game and joining up with other groups and just seeing them have that feeling of amazement for the first time. Like when you first played an MMO, you didn't know how anything worked, and it was kind of like this joy of discovery of a fresh experience, and we finally have that back because we've changed all the rules of MMO design.
What about the leveling? Is there what is the level cap? Is there like a grind to it? How does the leveling compare to other MMOs?
So we actually have a world that is not focused on leveling. We started with a leveling system, but based on user feedback, they said, this doesn't feel right for a shooter. So we actually have a system where your heroes wear battle frames, these suits of armor, and they're customized with different abilities and different armor and different weapon capabilities. So basically what we have is you can increase the capacity of your suit, sort of like your character sheet. You can increase how much mass it can carry, how much CPU load it can have, and how much power it generates from its crystite reactors. And then based on that, you craft equipment that takes more and more power, more and more CPU, and be able to create more powerful, more interesting things. And we have kind of a hybrid curve between a horizontal system and a vertical progression system, because we want you to always go anywhere in the world. You know how in MMOs you level out of level 1 areas and then you never go back? Well, in Firefall, you can go anywhere in the world, and because it's dynamic, you choose your difficulty. You can create like Thumper events that are higher level for you in those older areas because it has unique resources you can't get anywhere else. So you can go anywhere, the world is always your oyster. I think that's one of the really cool things about Firefall.
Can you elaborate some more about the PvP and the PvEs?
Yeah, so basically the open world right now is PvE only, but we do have plans for massive open world PvP. The engine was built for that. We can have up to 1,000 players in a battle if we want to. But right now the PvP part is focused really on smaller esports instance maps. I mean, we have both esports maps and more casual maps that are themed, right? And so, but these are also places in the open world. So you can actually experience these maps in an NPC setting, get to know them in the world, and then when you feel ready, jump into a PvP setting and play against other players.